My mother even made a comment when I was in college. You're going to educate yourself right out of the husband.
Oh, really?
Real
And
comment.
and you
Real
love,
comment.
I mean, I know you adored your mother and your
Oh, I
dad,
did. I did adore them, but
and everybody says that they were very smart people.
and
So I'm
and my mom was.
surprised. I'm
But I
surprised
got
you
a
made that
master's, and
comment.
then I was working on a PhD in speech therapy, and that's when my mom got worried.
Yeah, it's so funny because it's also a backhanded, I guess, uh, criticism of men, right?
Absolutely, and I didn't think of it that way. Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
you took it as a criticism of you, but yeah, she didn't have a lot of faith that there were men out there who could handle that.
yeah.
So Sharon lives in Dallas, Texas, in Dallas, Texas proper, not in one of the bizarre
Suburbs.
little suburbs of it. And I have gotten to know her a lot better in the last 10 years.
Yeah, we become close friends with a group.
Yes,
Yes,
yes. And
absolutely.
we all went to this high school in El Paso, Texas, which isn't really Texas at all. At least,
More New Mexico or Arizona, but not Texas.
but not Texas in any meaningful way. And but now she's in like the heart of Texas, and um, you started your career. Well, I don't know that you started your professional life uh, as a in real estate, but
This is
but
career three. Happy to tell you about it.
okay. So please proceed.
So I have a master's in speech therapy. I got my first job out of college as a speech therapist in a school district. I got my first paycheck, called my dad, said, "Who is FICA and why do they want 200 of my dollars?" I just didn't understand the world of finance. And I knew right then I couldn't afford to live in a one-bedroom apartment and drive a car. So I got a second job with the Department of Child Welfare, and I went into impoverished homes 2 nights a week on top of my speech therapy to make extra money. So I'd go into these homes and do speech therapy. You'd walk into the homes and you smelled the oil from the food they were cooking. And
Oh,
these kids with missing teeth and parents with not many either were so grateful to see me. But I had to do that to supplement my income. So I realized I was going to be supplementing my income with this kind of education. So after doing that for 3 years, I think it was, I went back to get a master's,
and, and
and
and are you in Dallas at the time?
I was in
Yeah.
Dallas, and I went back to get an MBA, which of course threatened my mom a little again. I did not complete that. And I met a guy in one of my classes who worked for a company called NCH Corporation, Industrial Chemicals. And he would get paid $500 many years ago if he could recruit somebody. So he brought me in and they started talking to me, and I started selling industrial chemicals. Had not a clue what that meant. Just jumping off a hill, out carrying a big bag of industrial chemicals,
Like door
walking
to
in
door,
what?
like door.
Yeah, but not homes.
Yeah.
Like commercial properties.
I
Yeah.
mean, did you have a favorite industrial chemical?
Oh, I mean, there's so many stories. I mean, I sell lubricants, patching compounds, cleaning products, water treatment products. I was demonstrating a product one time and I burned a hole through the guy's desk. And I said, I guess no sell today. So and I remember a guy saying to me, the best thing that could happen to you is for a man to take you off the streets. That's how he referred to my career. However, I tripled my income from being a speech therapist, my other two jobs.
Hmm.
And I remember I thinking, okay, sales is where it's at. So I did that for 6 years, and that's where I learned to sell.
Yeah.
I mean, I
Did you know you were a natural salesperson?
no, no. I mean, I knew that I could go sell baton cookies that we had to sell in the neighborhood or whatever. I'd sell mine and sell my sisters, but I didn't think of it as a respected profession. In
Yeah.
fact, when I went into sales, my parents were kind of horrified. They were both educators. And I remember, like, why would you do this? And then when I started making money, my mom said, "Do you think your dad could come to work for you?" It was just like kind of a pivot. And it was amazing because I learned how to sell. I worked in the sales school. I traveled the country training other salespeople. my educational background helped with that, and was really, for the time, making a lot of money, a lot more than my friends that were school teachers. I remember thinking it was sad that I had all this education in a field that I thought I was going to love, and I really couldn't make a living single doing that. And I had to watch my parents with the struggle. And so I knew it was real. So I sold industrial chemicals, and I mean, it was my gateway drug to sales. Then I did transition into commercial real estate, which I'm grateful for, because I went through a divorce and my kids were in private school, and I knew I needed to be in a profession that made enough money for me to pay my share of the expenses for them to continue in their schools. And they were in great schools, and I wanted them to be able to stay there.
You're such a great salesperson, and I know you've trained teams,
Yes.
mentored people into
Yes.
the business. Just curious, what are kind of the key, I don't know what number, 1, 2, 3, whatever your number, what are the key things you tell people
Yeah,
about
that too. What makes a
maybe you don't even call it selling.
Yeah.
But how do you, what are the heuristic shortcuts that can stick in someone's head?
I don't even know if it's a shortcut, but a lot of tenacity.
Yeah.
I mean, in sales, and I tell them this, there are so many no's. And I always say every no is one no closer to a yes. I mean, when I sold chemicals, I could actually quantify if I made this many stops and I got in front of this many people, I could sell this many. I knew my ratio. I got to where I could sell 1 out of 2. So when I got over to commercial real estate, it's a much more sophisticated sell, but it is a sell and it takes longer. So what I would teach is you keep going back, you keep talking to people, you keep reconnecting with them until they tell you, no, get out of here. You keep checking back, because the person they choose to do business with is the person that's standing in front of them at that time. And it's almost the case. So I would teach them how to be persistent, stay organized. And I really fight organization myself. So I would push it on them because I knew how important that was. But really, consistency, staying organized, and hard work. It takes hard work. I mean, most of my career in commercial real estate have been 10-hour days easily.